Hi Aries, welcome to How Love Tarot. I've already pulled your oracle cards. I'm now about to pull your tarot. This is a general reading. I'm going to be looking at 4 different areas of your life. I'm going to be looking at the present position, which validates that this is your reading, the strength, the challenge, and then the possible outcome. The challenge is something equivalent to what you don't see coming. The outcome is also equivalent to what you don't see coming. Spirit, may I please have the present position for Aries? What does Aries need to know? What will validate this reading for them? Present position, Spirit. Present position. Thank you. Present position for Aries. There we go. May I please have the strength for Aries, please? Do you want that one? Thank you. May I please have the challenge? Oh, you want me to move this over? Okie doke. May I please have, if that's a challenge, can I have the strength then, please? Thank you. Strength. Yep. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a psychic and a medium, and I have been since I was a child. So I've been doing that part of this for about 40 years. The tarot reading is secondary to that. So often when I'm doing readings, I get the information psychically and mediumistically before it ever comes through on the cards. The cards are just a tool for me to use on YouTube for you. Spirit, may I please have, so I'm telling you all of that because Spirit's already talking to me and confirming and validating some of this information that's happening here in your reading. Spirit, may I have the outcome? Please provide me information that will inspire, motivate, and help Aries to make the decisions that they need to make. Thank you. You want that in the upright. You want this here. Thank you. All right. Anything else for the outcome? Thank you. Anything else? And you want that where? You want that in the challenge? Okay. Okay. So again, what happens is because I'm a psychic and a medium, things happen a little bit differently in my readings, in that Spirit will tell me where the cards belong. They will tell me, even if they come out a certain direction, they will tell me to reverse them or to put them upright. They will tell me to put them in different areas. So that's what you just witnessed just now, where I'm doing the outcome, but the card comes out and Spirit tells me it doesn't belong in the outcome, it belongs in the challenge. So let's start your reading. Now, this is an interesting read because I've already got all of the information. So Spirit, bring it forward so Aries can validate that this is their reading. Spirit makes me feel here we have the romance card. This is a general reading, and this is going to go, and I can tell you that because I already have the information. This is going to a very general aspect of the reading, even though we start off with the romance card. Okay, so I have to tell you from the get-go, the energy I'm picking up is not going to be romance driven, even though some of you are going to be able to understand it on a romantic level. So Spirit makes me feel here that your direction has shifted in regards to looking at situations that involve someone really valuing you and validating who you are, respecting you, giving you love, encouragement, understanding. And now for some of you, this does mean that your focus is now shifted into wanting, needing, desiring high levels of commitment in a situation. And also for those of you that are single, wanting and really now desiring a romantic partnership. And so whereas before it may have been a wish, a want, a desire, it's now kind of like it's a need, it's a focus, it's something that you want to manifest in your life. Now, that's where that part ends, okay? So we have romance is a sacred power, let it come to me this hour. So those of you that are single, you've been doing things on your own for a very long time. For those of you that are together with someone, it could be that what happens is you're very different. You're very different. You're the same, you come together. So there is a harmonious element of your relationship, but there is one of you that carries the burden more than the other. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave romance for now. I'm going to go back into the general part of the reading. So here in the present position, what we have is the Eight of Wands. And what I have here is, you know, really a lot of focus on communication. Now, there is going to be a rapid movement in communication. It's going to speed up. There's going to be swift changes that are made during this communication. It's going to manifest pretty quickly, and there's going to be a lot of quick decisions made based upon this communication. It does feel like travel may be involved for some of you in regards to this. It may be for many of you that you could consider moving. For others of you, it does mean you're really communicating a lot about your future. For some of you, it's all of that, right? And there's a lot of manifestation in this communication. It has to do with kind of like the expression of your soul, if I could be so bold to put it that way. It feels like there's a lot of practical movement in this communication, figuring out logistics, figuring out what works, what doesn't, setting boundaries, maneuvering the communication smoothly, and using your skill to have an absolute decision. And for many of you, there's a business element to this, right? And so, okay, for those of you that don't know, I'm a clinical psychologist. I've been in the field for 30 years. I'm an international psychologist, both in the UK and in the US. So I am very, let me say, overqualified to be doing this. However, one of the things that happens is some information comes through in a reading that I have to explain. And I have to explain it because in lay terms, it's miscommunicated. So one of the things that's coming through in this reading is the ego. Now, this is the worst term that has been bastardized by Western society since I can remember. And it's been done this way because of talk shows, because of famous people talking about it on talk shows, and it never being corrected. And so there's this kind of lay communication about it. Lay terms means somebody that is not an expert in that particular area. And in psychology, everybody is an armchair psychologist, right? And it's one of those soft sciences that requires an extreme amount of skill and wisdom and understanding, because no two human beings are the same, and no two human beings present the same when they have a mental illness. And so the ego here is being presented in this communication. Now, the ego in lay terms represents something extremely negative. And I hate that. And in this scenario, I want you to understand that when I talk about the ego, I am not talking about it in the layman's terms. I'm talking about it in the psychological terms. So in psychology, it's very important, and this comes from Freud. It comes from, Freud is the one that theorized the ego. And what goes along with the ego is the id, which is the childish part of the personality, and then the super ego, and the ego is in the middle. So you have id, ego, super ego. Super ego is on the extreme side where you have a lot of morality, sticking to rules and all of that. And then id is a childish part where there are no rules and you break boundaries and you don't know, where something ends and begins. the ego keeps those two things in control. So we really, in psychology, we want somebody to have their ego present, because if it's not present, then you're indulging. So you're like you're too, you know, either the it is present and you're overindulging in like alcohol or food or drugs or partying too much, not taking your responsibility seriously, kind of like shooting to the wind, like, oh, everything's going to be okay, even though you're making a lot of decisions that you could be throwing away your money, not using your money wisely. And the morality side, or the superego, means that you're being perhaps none of those things, right? And you're not allowing any type of indulgence, right? And you're not enjoying your life, and all you're focused on is responsibility. And so we want the ego because we want a balance between the two. And so here what we have in the Eight of Wands is the ego. The ego is now stepping forward to say, listen, I need not one or the other. I need something in the middle, and I need to have fun. And whatever it is that I'm going into, I need to set my boundaries. So yes, I get my financial needs met, I get my social needs met, I have disposable income, but I can make income. This is about money. This feels very strongly related to money. So I can make money, or I can draw in or use my money in a way that will allow me to do the things that I want, right? So allow you to do the things that you want. So this discussion here about what's going on has to do with leveling up, giving yourself room to breathe. So those of you that are single can now begin to focus on your romantic life and not devote so much tireless energy into work. Those of you that doesn't apply to, what work doesn't apply, because I'm picking that up from Spirit too. What it has to do is with giving your energy to situations that bring back a level of joy into your life, right? Communication is a big part of all of this. Now, in the present position, we have you making a very big decision in your life, right? Because we have the Tower and we have the King of Cups. Spirit, bring it forward. What's going on here with Aries in that present position? So you're creating a change in your life. Spirit wants me to switch over here to, I'm going to come back to this if it occurs. Spirit wants me to switch over to the challenge. So this is tied in to what the challenge is in your current energy, has to do with your present position. So there's conflict here, right? So Spirit shows me conflict. For some of you, it is standing your ground in a situation that you're constantly having to fight for what you believe in. It feels as if you're having to be extremely defensive in a situation. It also feels that when you do, you know, it's kind of like whoever you're dealing with, they ask you your opinion, but then when you give it, they don't really want it, right? And so you're having to stand your ground and fight for what you believe in. And it's this kind of circle that keeps a pattern that keeps repeating itself, right? And it feels like, you know, as soon as you regain a stand in your situation, you end up kind of tipping over and losing control of it again, because there feels like a puppet master, right? So it feels like somebody is controlling this situation around you, and in a negative way. So it feels like somebody is negative around you, extremely negative. And so I feel like you're putting in more energy really than you need to, because this person they trigger you, right? They create a lot of conflict in you. And so for those of you that can understand that, this is not a good relationship, right? It's a very, and let's go back to the ego now. It's a very, and I'm going to use the proper terms, not the lay terms. And so what we have here is somebody that is very domineering, right? And so let's say in lay terms, you'd call that somebody that's very egotistical. Or again, another term that's very misused in our common culture today is this word narcissist. And again, this is a clinical term, and it has nothing, the lay term of this is misused, overused, and really not accurate when you call somebody a narcissist. But if I can be so bold as to talk about the person that you're dealing with here is very manipulative. They're very focused on themselves. They really don't care to, like, I feel like they give droplets to try and, it's just a drop of in like, whenever you're trying to create harmony with another human being, right, there's give and take, and it should be reciprocal and equal. But this is not equal. I feel like this person gives a drop and they expect like excellence, and they expect, well, I gave you a drop, you should be at my mercy now, because you don't even deserve that. So you have somebody that creates a lot of worry here, and this is that card that came out in the outcome that Spirit had me move into the challenge. So your challenge is this person. This challenge is this person makes you feel insecure. They make you feel like you're not enough. And so Spirit has me here in the present position with you wanting change, right? So we have the Tower card. And so what we have here is you wanting, so if this is a boss, or this is somebody that you've been dealing with, let's say, let me give you the scenario as a boss, right? So if we have here, you have a lot of information flowing here, sorry. So what we have here is a Tower, you creating change, you creating a shift of consciousness within your life that will bring the whole thing down. Because if this has to do with a boss or somebody that you work with in that kind of capacity that's manipulating you, what you're moving to is somebody that's way more just even a change of pace, right? Somebody completely new, an environment completely new, and that's why we have the King of Cups in the present position. We also have in the challenge, and which is merged into the present position that Spirit is having me say, is that the thing about a harvest is that you never know the seeds that you're planting, the crop that you're going to get. And when you plant those seeds, you have to trust. You have to trust in a lot of elements coming together to hopefully give you the minimal amount of harvest that you want. And so there is about a 9-month time frame here that Spirit is telling me that you're going to plant a seed now. And in about 9 months, you'll see it come to fruition. So if this is a change of job and you decide to do that, you're going to move towards somebody that you can actually build a relationship with. You are going to move into, Spirit wants me now to move out of this. We're moving swiftly on here, Aries. They want me to move into abundance. So your strength here is that you've got the Two of Pentacles, right? You're having to make a decision. And your decision has to do, and we've got twos repeating here in your reading, right? We've got twos repeating in the strength. So when a number is repeating, 2 represents having to make a decision. 2 represents many things, right? In numerology, the numbers have multiple meanings, but in this energy, the way that it's coming out is that here the 2s, right, which are coming out in the strength, represent you having to make a decision. And again, this harvest element is coming up that you're going to have to trust. You're worried here about, well, what if I make the wrong decision? Even when you don't make a decision, you're making a decision. And when you decide to stay in something that's very negative and toxic, you're making that decision to stay in something that's negative and toxic. And as long as I've been doing readings, I've never had the spirit world come in and say, oh, you need to stay in that situation that's negative and toxic. The only way that I've ever had that happen, and this is the only scenario that that ever happens in, is if there is a child involved, and it's a young child, and the child needs stability, and there's not abuse being involved in that, parental situation. That's the only time that spirit will say, and they'll give advice on how to handle that situation for the person that's dealing with that. And so never, ever, ever in 40 years that I've been doing readings does the spirit world say, oh yes, why don't you choose unhappiness over happiness? Why don't you choose dissatisfaction over joy? They never ever say that. They always want you to move towards peace, joy, happiness. Yes, we know this is an extremely difficult thing to do when you don't know the outcome. But that's what having faith is, right? And so here in the strength, what we have is you requiring abundance, but in all areas of your life. And the strength is that you've gotten to the point, Goddess of Abundance Divine, let me thrive, fortune be mine. You're manifesting multiple priorities, time management, adaptability, balancing decisions. Your strength is that you have options. There's a duality, and that you can see that you can come together with people, and you can settle your energy by having union and finding balance and pulling back and joining with another entity that will bring out the best in you, and where, you know, this fight goes away, right? Because you're not fighting to be seen anymore. If you step into a new situation, what we have you doing is just kind of learning and focused on your money and focused on, and it does show here in the strength energy that there's going to be multiple people here involved in this abundance and making the abundance. So if you deal with clients, I see many clients coming towards you. I feel like some of the, and they're all different levels, right? We've got new, I want to say, accounts or new prospects. We've got those that you'll inherit that are very seasoned, and then we have the younger, just newer accounts that are full of potential and possibility. Money is here to be had. And we have in the strength, again, this reiteration of just understanding that whatever you're in doesn't work, right? And again, I'm getting it strongly that it is some type of union here that just doesn't work for you. And you're walking away from it. You don't want to. It's bittersweet. You've put a lot of time and energy into it, but sometimes you got to know when to cut your losses. And when you know when to cut your losses, you know, if you're brave, and you do have to put the energy in, nothing happens magically from the sky, right? Whatever you do, when you do the right thing happens. But if you keep on putting energy bad after good, you're going to result in bad energy, right? But if you decide that, you know what, I'm good enough and I'm powerful enough and I'm going to do the best that I can and I just need a change, guess what will happen? You will then put stock into yourself, and it's not about the other person seeing you or understanding you. It's about what you will do for you and how you will come forward. So we have the Queen of Wands here in the strength energy, you finally giving to yourself in an area that has to do with courage, confidence, independence, focused on your zest for life and your determination to excel, to create joy in your life, right? So here in the outcome, Spirit, bring it forward. Now, we do go through this time period here, and Spirit is reiterating that once communication begins, multiple things will come your way if you reach out for those multiple opportunities. Again, these things are not, I did a reading, I think it was yesterday, and where the opportunities were coming to the person, and they wouldn't really have to do much. In your situation, you're going to have to go after it, right? Not fair, I know, but when you're the one that's going after it, guess what? You're carving out the future that you want, and it presents itself in a way that is your choice, and in the long term has much more meaningful outcome because you crafted it, you chose it, and therefore it is your success to bask in. And so Spirit makes me feel there's going to be speedy communication here, speedy decisions made, and then that will lead to the outcome. And beautiful, beautiful outcome, we have victory, right? Because here we have, I shall celebrate and I shall rise. I will let victory make me wise. We have you achieving what you want. You do make a choice. You do end something quite big here. And you go after what you rightly deserve, which is to move forward in a different direction and having the courage to do that. Aries, you have a habit of staying in what's comfortable, because the fear of the unknown can be too much, and you need to tread carefully. Being the type of sign that you are, you're very you need to know where the safety net is. But I need to encourage you to understand you're creating the tower moment, and this tower moment is involved in a lot of communication. That's how you will know. Positive communication, by the way. Yes, there is some negative communication with the old thing that you're dealing with, but the new thing has positive communication, right? That's how you'll know the difference. And so here what we have, beautiful, 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 beautiful outcome. I love this. What we have is the Ace of Swords, truth, right? Brand new beginning. We have pioneering, leading, alpha, dominance. That's you, right? Taking the lead, and being ambitious and being original, right? Walking into something that's not your norm, and creating and crafting out something that you deserve. Now, it feels like the universe is also giving you an understanding that once you make this decision, you have mental clarity, you will have breakthroughs, you'll have new ideas, success will bring a sharp mind. And you know, this is affecting your health. Whatever toxic situation you're in is affecting your health. So your health will improve because you'll be in charge of your own money. Money is very prominent here. Emotional energy here is very prominent. So you will feel an abundance of this very strong feeling of grounding, nurturing, practical energy, providing financially secure outcomes long term. So that's beautiful. I also feel here in the King of Swords, you may be there may be somebody that you're turning to here for advice. It does feel here in the King of Swords, this is usually somebody quite learned, somebody that has your best, what's the word, best, they want the best for you, right? So for some of you, this is professional advice. And so here in the victory, what we have you is, you know, and so some of you, Spirit is making me feel here, head over heart, disciplined, truthful, honest, mental clarity and authority, right? So Spirit is making me feel that you could be having meetings with very, very, and choosing to meet, you know, so you'll, as you're going through this conflict and as you're kind of sorting out the forest from the trees, what we have you doing is turning to experts, right? So this could be in finance, like looking at your accounts, talking to an accountant. It could be talking to somebody like me that's a life coach, right? And somebody that's an expert in that area, not somebody that got a weekend certificate. I have a lot of experience. That is, I'm an expert in my field. Spirit just made me feel here also talking to somebody medical. So for some of you, you're dealing with something medical and you're going to be talking to an expert in that area to make a decision about, for some of you, you could be considering a follow-up to do with something surgical, or kind of follow-up if you had surgery previously, or there has been talk of surgery, just understanding where you stand with that. Spirit makes me feel here, get the advice that you need, talk to the experts. It will help you to clear up your mind, and it will help you to make clearer decisions, because it's not them that's going to make a decision for you, it's just them that's going to kind of unmuddle the mess for you, and so you can, you know, they can lay it out clearly, right? Just like these cards, if they were thrown all over the place, then I wouldn't be able to read them. But if I put them in the present position, the strength, the challenge, and the outcome, then they're in an orderly fashion that they could be understood. And that's what I see the experts doing for you, putting things in their category so you can basically understand where do you stand and what is it that you need to do. I see a very, 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 very successful outcome for you once you get through this challenge bit where you're worrying. And again, I just want to reiterate, you'll know that you're going down the right track with the positive communication that you have. Aries, for those of you that need a reading, please look at the description box. Those of you that are interested in the life coaching, look at the description box below this reading. That is the only way that I am taking in new clients, howlovetarot@gmail.com. I do have my website up, howlovetarot@gmail. www.howlovetarot.com. So I don't usually look, that website needs updating and I keep forgetting to do it. But anyway, this is something that is going to be victorious. Communication, understand that change is about, and the decision is not a negative thing, even though you may feel overwhelmed by it. And I really feel things are going to be really, really bright for you once this King of Cups of energy comes in. I really, really think that once you make the decision that enough is enough, that things will work in your favor. Aries, please hit like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Please leave a comment if this reading resonated with you. I'd love to hear from you. And it really, you know, when you leave comments, and it doesn't matter which Aries leave comments, but even when you leave comments and you say the reading resonated or anything like that, it really, really helps me to focus on the energy of Aries. And even if you are somebody that maybe doesn't usually comment, and but you look at my channel a lot, please just in the comments give me a thumbs up or something, or give me a thumbs up on the like page. I mean, like the video, that would be great. But if you put it in the comment section, I actually pick up on your energy. And so when I'm doing readings, the people I probably shouldn't give this away, but the people that comment in the channel, one of the reasons why you see Cancer readings getting so, if you look at the Cancer readings, they're very, very, very detailed, and they're, I give more than one reading, usually a month for Cancers, is because they comment so much on the page. And because of that, I can pick up all the different levels of energy and I can give multiple readings. If you don't interact with the channel, I can't pick up on your energy. So, you know, those of you that are shy and want a private reading, feel free to reach out. Those of you not so shy and don't mind leaving a comment, I would love to hear from you. You know, I do this for free. It's a lot of time and energy out of my week, out of my month to give this to you. And even if I'm getting a comment back from you, it does kind of feed my soul also. So thank you all for listening. I really appreciate you. You take care.